question first. Well, we got to do the intro first.
Okay.
It's on Do Not Disturb.
Are you recording? Okay. Welcome back to Oakland Porch. I'm Rowen. This is Evan. And we have two very special guests today. Two women. The first women on the podcast. So everyone who's asking, yes, we do know several women. Two of them are here. One of them is Big Ten runner-up Leane,
Willemse. I'm actually an expert at that last one.
Evan has it.
Strideport butchered your name.
Yeah, Leane Williams.
Leane
Lenny.
Believe it or not, I've had worse.
Yeah.
I've had worse.
Leonard.
So.
Did you know I'm the one who came up with the Lenny nickname? I want
Really?
to put that out there. I came up with that.
Okay.
And you disliked it so much at first.
Evan was the first one
here
who
we
said it
are.
to me, though.
Well, I called you Lenny behind your back for a long time.
Well,
I'm a real one, Lenny. I say it to your
Evan said it
face.
to my face,
Okay,
and then
well,
it picked up.
It was a mind melding.
So then who came up
moment.
with Leonard?
Me.
That's
that's my own creation.
sure.
That was Evan.
That's for sure. Okay, our other
Okay,
guest.
and our
Our
other
other
guest.
guest.
Lexi Westley.
What up, guys?
Jersey
Mom.
girl.
Yes.
She was whipping up pancakes this morning, and
We had a
Leane was
great brunch.
whipping up the
Absolutely.
eggs.
We had a brunch in our tiny apartment for like
Yeah.
16 people. It was
made it
great.
work.
We made
It
it
was
work.
awesome.
The team chemistry was flowing this
Yes.
morning.
Yes,
We're
it
roommates,
was.
we should say.
Yeah, roommates.
Yeah, roommates, best
you-
friends, teammates.
Wow.
Hopefully we don't regret bringing two women
We have
on
the same
podcast.
initials.
We would never regret bringing
Yeah,
women
we
on
have
the
the same
podcast.
Fun
initials.
fact. Yeah, same initials.
LW.
LW.
Okay, I want to say Lexi is one of the people that I've been on the team the longest with because we're both fifth years
Yeah.
now. We're both old people.
Yeah.
So we're
Did you guys
very
ever
close.
wrestle each other?
That's
Of all
a
those wrestling
really
videos
weird
I saw?
question.
Specifically,
Well, I know
Rowen.
Vic got in on the action, but
I got voted second place in the women's
Yeah.
ranking of who would be the most feisty in a race solely because of I'm
No,
from
in a
Jersey.
fight.
No, in a fight.
In a fight
It was
or
a power
something.
ranking of.
And I was second place, I will say. And
So,
I
do you
think
remember
that-
the reason?
inform the rest of us.
Because I'm
What
from
was the
New
other-
Jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the whole ranking?
Shay was
name the
first
names.
because Shay.
And then me,
You know.
because
Because Shay's
I'm very,
ruthless.
very nice, but
Yeah.
then I'm a Jersey girl at heart, so I would
Yeah,
throw
Jersey
my
trash.
throw hands to protect
Yeah,
my people.
I can't remember who was third.
It kind of just went down.
Yeah.
It might have been, was it Sarah or Vic?
I think it. I don't remember who it was. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
Vic was last,
I know
'cause she was
Sammy was
not
at the
it.
bottom.
Vic and Sammy were at the
Sorry,
bottom, and they were
Sammy,
very
rip.
salty about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still hold to that.
But anyways, we go way back.
go way back.
Way back. And then Lee and I, third year, fourth year, I don't even
Third.
know at this point.
Yeah, junior, but
She's
all
old
from
for her
academic.
grade.
I'm old. I'm a grandma.
Grandma. Okay, let's talk about some stats
Yeah.
so you can hype yourselves up a little bit. You just took second. What other stats do you have? Any stats?
Yeah, I guess I just got second at the Big Ten. That's probably my most accomplished race. 34th at Nutty, so I feel like that's also a pretty good one. Prior to that, probably just making it to
Okay, take your medal off now. That's enough.
Probably
That's
just making it to regionals and track.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's your 5K PR?
16:09.
Very nice. You gonna break 16 minutes this year?
Absolutely.
What place were you into regionals for track? Like how far from being?
How far ahead of
not
Rowen
in?
were you?
Because I have been
I
like the
wasn't-
last
I
one
was
in
not
for.
that. I was not that far up. I think I was
You're
like.
pretty safely.
I think
in,
it was like
30.
10. It was like 10 spots.
Okay,
10 or
that's
yeah.
So
good.
Lindsay
That's
like
pretty
told me she was like, "You're definitely in."
I think you were in the mid-30s.
Yeah.
Like going in or something.
The past 2 years, I have fully expected not to make it to regionals, and I have made it
Then
to
you have.
regionals. That's my specialty.
Nice.
All right, Lexi, hype yourself up. What do you got?
Let's see. Okay, I had my highest place finish. I took 9th this year. That was pretty exciting.
At Big Tens.
At the Big Tens. I was 69th at Nutty Comb this year.
Nice.
Woo! Let's go. Highest place finish, both of them. I will say this is the first year that I've been healthy for an entire year since I was a freshman.
Yeah.
I have only ever opened my season at Big Tens or like part of Nutty. Let's see.
Yeah, you know how to work the cross training.
Yeah, I know how to.
Yeah,
I
you're figuring it out.
Unfortunately-
Injuries quicker than you.
Yeah, I've had my fair share of stress fractures. I've had 3, 2 tibial, 1 femoral, a lot of bumps, but it's been a smooth season, which is really good. Knock on wood.
Yeah.
2 more weeks.
And then it's track season. Hopefully, try to break 16 like Lenny, and hopefully maybe break 33 in the 10K. So That's the goal.
Big
Very
things
nice.
coming.
What about
Very,
the year
very nice.
I remember you ran really well at a Big Ten cross
I-
meet with Rowen.
Yeah, that was the COVID year when we ran,
Yeah.
like the team didn't really do well.
Yeah.
I got 12th there. So then, but Michigan didn't race that year.
Yeah.
They had the whole COVID
No.
outbreak.
I think I got 12 too. Rowen got second, I think.
Oh, that's
Third.
another
I
one.
got
We just keep
third.
going back and forth. Yeah, you
Yeah.
ran really well, but currently we're going double. or
We've
nothing
talked
this
about
year.
that race many times
Yeah.
already on our very limited episodes,
yeah.
so I don't think we need to talk about it anymore.
That was a really, really tough. No, that was quite a performance by you guys. Everybody was sick, and then y'all just
Yeah, it
busted out
was.
the
Yeah, it
best race ever.
Okay,
like-
okay, I have a question. So everyone's dying to know, what's it like being Lindsay's favorites right now?
What? I wouldn't say
I mean,
that.
I wouldn't say like I'm a favorite.
You wouldn't?
Like, we don't. I don't think she texts us quite frequent. There's other women that she talks to.
Isn't she pumped
way
up about how you
I-
guys are running right now?
I would not say I'm a favorite. No.
to be
All right,
honest with
maybe
you.
you're her least favorite then.
Yeah.
What's it like being her least favorite?
I also wouldn't say that. We're somewhere in the middle trade.
I'm
Okay.
riding. I'm just in the middle. Yes.
Okay.
I'm
well,
in the middle.
next year we'll be friends when I come back as a coach.
Yeah, you're
It'll
coming
be-
back as a coach. Do you
Yeah.
want to talk? One of my questions on here is, what are you going to do after college with your degrees?
Oh, okay. Well, according to this podcast, I have a useless undergrad.
I'm not useless, just probably the least
Okay.
useful
The least
out of
useful.
some of
I
the
was
ones we were
I
talking
came in as
about.
pre-physical therapy. I didn't want to take
Same.
organic chemistry, so I switched to health promotion and health equity.
What does that mean?
Yeah,
Can
what
you
do you
explain
promote and
what
what do you
that
make
means,
equity?
So,
please?
it's
Because Bob does a bad job.
No,
of
it's
it.
basically a mixture of exercise science and public health.
See, already I know way more about
Like, I
your
took-
degree than I ever have before.
Like I took anatomy, sports psychology, anatomy of sports,
Okay.
counseling psychology.
I think it's like pre-coaching.
Yeah,
Like,
wait. So
it's-
you want to be? You're planning on being a
Yeah.
coach. You're going
So, like,
to become a
people-
coach. If
people in-
if you weren't going to be a coach, what would you
Right.
do with that? Like, what do other
You
people
could,
do?
so
with
like a
that?
lot of my classmates, like one's in PA school right now.
Okay.
One just went into nursing school. It was kind of designed for people who want to do something like in the health field, but they don't know what.
Okay.
So you take a bunch of classes in like everything to kind of find your way. So I have a friend who just got into med school. Some are going to like teach. Somebody wanted to be a professor. And then there's myself and Bob. Wow.
Yeah, talk about your plans for next
Oh
year and
yeah,
beyond.
so right now I'm in the sports leadership master's program here, which is really nice because it's
2
online.
credits.
I'm in 12. Excuse me. No. But I'm in the coaching concentration, so it's really nice because I get to shadow Lindsay, which is pretty cool, and it's really, really, really.
You get to
flexible.
shadow her as an athlete?
Yeah, like one of my classes
Whoa.
is just like meeting with her more than I do like just our weekly meetings, and
Oh,
I'm
wow.
like working on just like seeing what they do behind the scenes, and then we're working on the fine details. But right now it looks like I'm gonna come back as a part-time coach, and Mick and Doug will have to just sign off if that can be like paid because there's no more volunteer coaching
Huh.
in the
Yeah.
NCAA. So I kind of need to be.
What do you think about that?
paid.
Is that's a good thing, right?
It's a good thing, yeah. And if I don't get paid or whatever, I'll probably just get like a bartending job or like something serving. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of like what I do already in the summer.
Wait, I have a question with that. What would be your choice if you're gonna bartend at Madison? What bar are you choosing?
Like college bar?
Yeah.
Are you going to bartend at a college bar,
Yeah.
or would you go to an older person
I think
bar?
I'd
that's
have
a good
way more
question.
fun at a college bar. Like
Yeah.
we don't go out.
So which one
often.
would you want to do?
What are like the finalists? Like I feel like you've
I feel
not a
like
lot of traffic, right? So,
I feel like
Chasers,
you'd like Chasers,
Wandos.
Wandos, KK, W, something like that, where you're gonna get a lot of people.
I could see
who
you
will
behind the
just-
bar at Chasers
Yeah, living it up. Third floor, dance floor, absolutely.
Or
Yeah.
Wandos?
or Wandos.
Something where I can the
Or
teen
you.
girls
Handing
come
out
to
the
fish
W.
bowls.
Yeah.
Okay.
Girl, those are so bad. We can't talk. You and I can't talk about the fish bowls. Our night didn't end.
Let's go on to your major, marketing
And supply chain.
and supply chain. So you share a major with Evan,
Aww.
coloring outside of
Yeah,
the
coloring
lines.
books.
It is. I
Leane,
don't know.
what's the over-under
I
on
don't know where
graduation right
that comes from because I don't color.
Evan made a presentation the other day for his class, and
My
it
cover
was
slide, Leonardo DiCaprio.
yeah, why you should do a business masters as a
Actually,
senior.
the
That's a
title was
present.
To MBA or not?
Are you?
Yeah, pull it up.
Oh my
It
god.
was a great presentation.
One of his other assignment was writing an email. He told me about.
Yeah.
So
Workplace
I
What
communications,
class are
baby.
you taking? I need
I
to
guess
take
I can't
these.
say anything.
No,
I don't
there's
have
still
any
some bad
in-person
ones. There's some
classes,
bad
so-
ones. accounting.
What are
and
you
finance.
planning on doing? Bar going pro as a runner, because obviously that's what we all
Yeah,
want
I was
to do.
gonna say that'd be the first goal, going pro. If that doesn't work out, I think it'd be cool to. So it'll be like in the sports industry. It'd be like the business side of things. Like, I don't know, like maybe like work with like a team or like a company that like helps like manage teams. Like, I feel like that. Even if I could like get into like the running part of like sports, I feel like that'd be super cool.
Like sports marketing.
Yeah, yeah, or
like
even
that.
like there's like all these like pro like you know, like the On Group, like
Yeah.
Tim and Lee, like, you know, there's like maybe something you could like be like the manager, like marketer for like that like team. I feel like that'd be pretty cool. So
Yeah.
What would be your number one choice? Like, what brand would you be the most excited to sign with?
wow, I feel like that answer has changed so much. Like, I feel like if you asked me like 4 years ago, I would have said Nike in a heartbeat. But I
But
don't know.
now Nike doesn't exist.
I feel like
Bowerman
now
doesn't really
there's
exist.
been like Bowerman's just kind of like done now. I feel like all these other brands are just kind of like in the up and coming. So I don't know. It's a tough one.
Yeah.
That's something I wish we would have asked Olin about a little bit more. Is like what he thinks of like other pro teams. And, like,
Like,
how
what
they're
does he
structured.
know
Yeah.
about them?
What does he
like,
know
like
about
what's going on with
them?
Bowerman?
Yeah, what's the gossip in the
Yeah,
pro
really.
world?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
3 just dropped out of
That was
like in a week.
insane.
Yeah,
Like,
what do you think about
that's definitely
that?
not a coincidence.
Do you think
Yeah.
it's solely about Jerry not giving them enough attention? Yeah, or do you think there's more to it? What are your thoughts?
I
Do you think
think-
it's a little bit of like Oregon Project?
I think it's a little bit of both. Like, I think there's more to it as well. I don't
Not
know.
enough TLC time, as Mick would call it.
No,
Yeah,
not enough.
I don't follow
Not
Pro
enough.
Running enough to know. I follow other sports more.
I don't follow pro
What do you
running
find
either.
next
What do
Like-
you guys think about it?
Am I-
Oh, I don't know. I mean, it's like, I think it makes sense because so many people left at once, and obviously, like, the whole point of being on a pro team is training with
Yeah.
people who are, like, going to push you, and, like, if
Yeah,
there's
once
a bunch
one
of...
leaves, the dominoes kind of just fall.
Yeah, especially on a pro team. It's not like a college team where you have to, like, think about transferring. I mean, obviously, it's tough to change teams,
Right.
whatever level you're at, but, like, I don't know. I think... It's probably. I feel like there is more behind the scenes. I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe that's cynical, but I feel like there has to be.
Yeah,
I
there
feel like there
are
has to
more.
be.
No, I agree.
Yeah, especially because they've had so much success. It'll be
Yeah.
interesting to see like what like Hicks and like the people that just signed with Bowerman,
Yeah.
like what they're
Yeah, because if you think of like who's leaving, it's like big names like Grant Fisher, like Elise
Right.
Cranny, like
Kincaid.
And that's why
Yeah.
people sign with Bowerman and Nike. Like a lot of times they'll take less pay because you know you're signing up to train with Grant Fisher, the best, you know, the American record holder at so many events. So it's like now they don't really have that pull. So
Yeah.
yeah, definitely things are changing up.
Yeah, yeah. I wonder. Do you think there's gonna like? Do you think they're all gonna end up at the same place, or do you think there's gonna be like more?
No, I think there'll be a
Teams now?
smaller like
Yeah.
Nike one-offs and like other groups that form. I think Ben Thomas is gonna have a group in like around VT kind of.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. All right, what about you guys? Give us like a little elevator pitch of how you got into running and what drew you
Okay.
here.
Oh boy.
Oh,
You wanna
wow.
go first? You want me to-
honestly, my sister kind of got me into running. I remember
Zenny.
Zenny got me into running. Shout out Zenny.
Shout out Zenny.
Love
Zenny.
her.
I think I was 8 years old, and
Oh my
I think
God.
she came to my dad and she said she wanted to do cross country. Just as like, at that point, the more social part of it. And then my dad was kind of like encouraging me to do it as well, because at that point, I, like any other girl, I did dance. And then I also played netball, which it's similar to basketball if you don't know. But so my dad was like, just give it a try.
Is that big in South Africa?
We should
Netball,
say-
it is huge in South
Yeah.
Africa. It is
Leane and I-
huge in other for
South
those that
African
don't know,
native.
I'm from South Africa.
But she is American now.
Born and raised, lived there for 11 years, so
Yeah.
quite the background. But yeah, so my dad was like, you know, just give it a shot. And I started off, you know, being like in the back, walking, chatting, and then I just started running more, you know, racing well, and yeah.
Here we
I
are.
have
Here
a
I am.
question. Okay, so I feel like it's pretty common cross country in high school. You were talking about how your sister wanted to do it socially. I feel like it's pretty common for that to be like a big draw, especially on
Yeah.
the women's team. Do you agree that it's more so like the women are more drawn to like the social aspect of it, and more guys just go and do like football and stuff because they don't want to run?
Yeah, I
or
was gonna
like,
say I completely
Yeah.
disagree about the incentive for
Well,
like.
I don't know. My team, I didn't have a women's team. Like my cross country team, men and women, was like 20 kids.
oh really?
So well, to answer the first question, like I got into running only because I wanted to stay in shape for soccer. I was a really competitive soccer
Same.
player. I was on a team that traveled all over the country. all of my teammates like played Division I soccer. Like that was gonna be my ticket. And I was a midfielder, and my coach told me I was slow and a little on the chubby side. So I was like, okay, I gotta do something. So I was gonna play on the golf team, but then I was like, no, I gotta do something to like help. So I joined track.
When was this?
I was 15. It was my
Middle school?
freshman year of
Oh,
high
wow.
school.
Oh.
And I was like, I would say I ran like 11th or I was like decent. And then they convinced me, like the guys, because I trained with the guys, they convinced me to try, I didn't have like women to train with, like there were just not a lot of girls on the team.
Yeah.
They convinced me to try summer training for cross country, and I was like, okay, it starts before soccer, I'll do it for a month, see if I like it. I ended up like
Became
loving
one of the
it.
boys.
And yeah, they kind of took me under their wing and fell in love with it.
So
And I
you were
stuck
like
with it.
raised by high school boys.
Literally.
That's scary.
Yeah. Shout out to the Warren Hills cross country guys. You know who you are. And then I got like, took kind of like fourth in that cross country season, and then from there I started running. So I started 15. I don't know if that's late. I don't know if that's in the middle. But
I don't know. I people start running at so many different times.
Yeah.
I had high school teammates who like ran in college who started their senior
Yeah.
year of high school.
Yeah.
Like
yeah, I mean, I just started young, but I feel like
Shay only did track.
I think a
her
lot of
senior
people
year.
only start
Or a lot
in
of
high
them
school.
like come from soccer. I think on the
Yeah,
women's
I think
side.
that's
That's a
huge.
big
So
thing.
many
Big
people
thing
come from
is
soccer.
and then
Our team too.
switch
Think
over.
about how many like ex-soccer players we have on
Yeah.
our team. Like we still go play like tennis,
Yeah.
soccer, and like I mean that's the majority of our team.
Yeah.
I feel like.
And I played
Yeah.
basketball
Came
all
from
4 years of
soccer.
high school. I didn't do indoor track. I didn't want to.
Was indoor track a separate thing than outdoor track
So
for you guys?
It didn't get started until I was a junior. They kind of made the team to like for me to run on, and then I
you
told
just were
them
like,
I was
nah.
like, I'm not giving up on my team. Like our basketball team was really good, and I stuck with it for 4 years. So but it was a separate thing. Like it was like a club instead of a sport.
Okay.
But I just didn't do it because I knew I was gonna run in college at that point, and I was
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna run every day for the next 4 or 5 years. I'm gonna play basketball while I still can.
Yeah,
So.
that's sweet. Yeah, I would play like indoor soccer in
Yeah.
the winter. And,
Oh,
like,
I love
indoor
indoor soccer.
Yeah.
I miss indoor soccer
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
much.
I love the walls. You can just.
Yeah, it was so
Slamming
much
the
fun. It was
wall.
like hockey.
Literally. But
Yeah. Okay. Why did you come here? Both of you.
Oh god.
Yeah, Leane in state, Lexi, all the way from.
The great
New
state.
Jersey.
New Jersey.
New Jersey.
I would say, obviously, like academically, it's a very strong, competitive school. I think being a business major,
In the business school.
the business school, that was big plus because like business school, it's so prestigious. And then athletically, kind of how Alexia said, like I also didn't have anyone to train with on the team. Like I didn't really run with the girl. Shout out to Mrs. Bosley. She was my training partner.
Oh,
But
yeah.
so
That's right.
Flex.
So for me, it was like I wanted to be on a team where I came in kind of more towards the bottom, and I had like a lot of girls to train with, a lot of girls to like work up with. So to me, it was also like,
Was that overwhelming at all when you first got here?
what?
Was that overwhelming?
Definitely going from like being top on the team, like
Yeah.
just blazing out in workouts, like being by myself, like even to races. Like in my cross country or like senior year of high school, I won every single meet up until the state meet. Like it was just like going out, being in the front, to then all of a sudden coming here, and then it's like workouts, you're in the back.
Yeah.
Like even like when we did the unattached races, it was like you're in the back. Like it was definitely just kind of like a
Yeah, it's brutal.
wow. Like you went from like the top to now like you're a nobody almost.
It's
like
a
nobody
wake-up
knows who you
call,
are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, dang, I've had a lot of coaches that since I've been here.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah, I want
had,
to talk about that too.
so when I was recruited, same class as Rowen, we did actually meet at NXN. I
We
remember
did,
that.
yeah,
It was a
we
very
did.
weird encounter. We
Rowen
were
is
ran
Hey, so you guys
awkward,
all
afraid
went
to
to
talk
NXN.
girls.
We all went to we were all there
Oh,
at
you
the
guys
same
all
place.
went to NXN.
Yeah.
Wow.
Flex.
So
Okay.
if we like time traveled back, if
Yeah.
we needed a place where we were all in the same place,
Yes.
that's where we would go.
I have the photo still with me, Sarah, and Rowan, and we went up to him, and he was like, "Who are these two random?"
Yeah, I mean,
Stay away with your
women
tweets.
coming at me was generally
Wait,
something I
so
wasn't
yeah.
used
did
to.
you make
so-
it on a team or individual?
I know I made it individually.
Individual.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty good in high school.
Yeah,
no big deal. No big deal.
The best I finished.
I recently found out though that Evan beat me by one place in that
Shut up.
race, and I didn't know that.
Way. I passed out my junior NXN or NXR, 4th place, Bowdoin Park. Passed
think-
out 50 meters from the finish
I think
line.
the best
Came
I
back
made
from
was like
vengeance the next
50th
year.
place.
Yeah.
Damn.
But then let's see. And then so I was recruited by Jill Miller, who's now the head coach at Northwestern.
Yeah.
So I was recruited by her. came here to like run the Badger camp we do here.
Yeah, Camp of Champs.
She sat us down.
Come to Camp of Champs.
Kids.
It's a great time.
Yes.
You'll have one of us
Where
as
the
your
magic
counselors.
happens.
Yes.
All the magic
I
happens.
was a counselor this
Yes.
past summer. The kids had a blast.
And Jill sat us down and was like, "Yeah, I'm leaving." So I'm in a room with like Alicia
See ya.
Monson, Amy Davis, Alyssa, Lucinda, all these people who've been coached by her, and I'm like, "Oh my God, my coach is leaving." Great, but
That was like that was the first shot.
That was the first coach.
Yep.
First of a couple.
But I came. Oh gosh, and then we had Mackenzie Warrenberger.
Okay,
She's
wait.
okay.
I don't mean to interrupt you,
No.
but we have a theory
Okay.
about Coach Mac.
Okay.
We think she would have made a really good men's coach.
I could see that.
I've never thought of it that way, but I think
Yeah.
I would have to agree.
We
with
also
you.
saw a very different side.
We
of
also
her.
did see a very
You
different
guys
side of her
did.
for
She
sure.
just shouldn't have been working with women in this whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, I mean, had it for 2.5 years. I did run well, and I was scared out of my mind like every day here. But you know what? I had great experiences. I was running with Alicia and Amy that freshman year, so that was kind of scary.
And I was there.
And Rowen was there. We had some great times. We hung out like every day in the dorm.
Oh my God, our freshman year was
We had a blast.
awesome.
We
It
still
was
have those
awesome.
Christmas ornaments in our house from the
Yeah,
tree.
yeah,
They hosted me. They got me here.
We had Evan
Yeah.
on the
Rowen.
first week of school,
yeah.
and we had no idea what to do with him.
He was
Okay,
asking
how-
all these questions, and we were like, "Oh!"
We have
and
no
we
idea
did a
where
great
to
job
take you.
bullshitting, apparently, because
'Cause we got
there
it.
is.
worked like a
What
charm.
were you asking?
I was swindled. I remember you guys took me to get ice cream by
On the
the
terrace,
union.
yep.
Yeah, we I don't know if we jumped in the water or not, but I don't know. It just seemed very fun. You guys immediately just had a great bond, and it seemed like a lot. You guys would have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then I remember pulling Rowan aside and sitting by the water with Rowan and asking question after question after question, and he must have had great answers because I left that week and I was like, well,
This is
I
it.
know where I'm going.
This is it. Oh,
Yeah. Jack made
then-
me English tea.
Oh,
Gave me
yeah.
I
Yeah.
felt like a king. I was.
in their dorm room,
They
Rowan
took me
and
to
Jax.
Samba and
Oh my
Our
God.
dorm room was the
You
best
went to
dorm
They
room.
were the hangout
Wow.
room. They were the hangout room, and we would just come there every night.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I had Mac for 2.5 years, and then Mick and Aaron coached us for a season.
Yeah.
My junior year, our junior year. So
Yeah.
that was quite an interesting.
That was we
season.
didn't really have. Mick was.
Yeah, Mick became your coach. And not our
Mick, yeah,
coach
was
throughout the
definitely
year.
became
See,
more your coach than our
I
coach
had
for a
more
while.
because at that point I was still just dealing with a lot of injuries and coming
Yeah.
back, so I was still more towards the back. I only had Aaron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mick was very much only with the top 7 girls, and then the guys, and then Aaron took the rest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
That
I
season-
never had any
was-
coaching
that was
done
a-
by Mick.
That was a lot, a
Hard
very difficult
season.
season for everybody, just
Yeah.
with everything going on.
Yeah.
And,
But now you have Lindsay.
And now Lindsay came my senior year. You're what? Summer?
First,
Sophomore
your
year.
first
My
senior
first
year.
senior year, yeah.
So this is
And-
now her second cross country season.
Yep,
with
and she
us.
came from UConn. She coached men and women there. I don't know if you guys knew that. So
Did
she's
not know
She
that.
coached both.
I did not know that either.
Came here, and I mean, we've been healthy. Lenny and I have struggled with injury. We're healthy. She's great. I mean, love her, and I think I wouldn't want to come back and shadow her if I didn't get along with her and I didn't appreciate her, what she's done for us. And she's great. She runs with us. She's cool.
Yeah, she ran with us this morning.
Yeah, shout out Lindsay.
Okay, so this is actually a perfect segue. Wow, I set this up so well.
You're so
This is a
talented.
perfect segue into my
Okay.
next question. I want to talk about the biggest differences between men's track cross country and women's track cross country.
Okay.
Because before this we were looking up.
Yeah, we got some stats.
We have some
Nutty
stats.
Comb.
Tell us.
Nutty Comb, we're talking
The
specifically
time-
about there's a bigger gap between
Time
the
delta.
women compared to the men, even though the men run longer. So we're out there running longer, but it's more it's tighter. So first place to 30th we were looking at.
Okay.
It's the spread, and so from first place at Nutty Comb to 30th, it was 1 minute and 15 seconds, and
For the women.
For the women, and for the men, it was 34. So.
Why?
Less than half. Why do you
That's
think
something
that
we
is?
always talk
We
about.
always wonder,
It's
why it's-
there are
where
women
that
who are
gap
still
Yeah.
you would say they're really good, but
Yeah.
they're a minute behind.
Is it the way women run is
I say
different?
okay,
than-
but I think because Parker was quite ahead of the field,
Mm-hmm.
and then it was Tui. So I think what's the stretch between 3rd and 30th?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
because
good point.
because I
Well,
think
let's look it up.
Yeah.
because I
That's a
think
good
with the
point.
men,
That's a good, yeah.
because I think if you look at the men, even with Nico, all those top guys, they're not that
But-
much
but-
more ahead. I just
That's the thing. I feel like at least recently, there's been more like standout women like that.
Yeah.
Where recently there hasn't really been like a standout male.
I feel like it's always been Tui, and now like Parker's coming in. So like I wonder like what is the stretch?
Okay.
And after those two.
Okay, so this is interesting.
Because
Second
third Camille.
Third was Kelsey.
Yeah, Camille.
Yeah.
Third to 30th. So third was 1953. Remember that for me. 30th was 2032. So
About
It's like
that's like
40 seconds.
Yeah,
40-ish.
and so,
So that's
then
not-
that's
closer. That's a lot closer.
Yeah.
for the men, 3rd to 30th,
Yeah.
23-26 to
Yeah.
23-57.
It shows you the plus
Yeah.
whatever next to. Okay, my next question is, I feel like there's just a lot of variables that change when you go from high school to college.
Yeah.
Like Lexi, for you,
100%.
like you were nailing it in high school. You were
Yeah.
like whatever 3 or 4 time state champion or more, but that's on the track. I know you
Yeah.
won NXR. You were a stud. Like you could go anywhere you wanted, and then. And then you think of other girls that like I won't say names, but there are a ton that were so good in high school, and they come to college and like
They struggle
fall off the
struggle
face
so
of the map, which
much.
would be so
I mean,
hard.
there's guys like that too.
There are guys like that too,
But
100%.
This is interesting.
And then there are girls also
Yeah.
that like, you know,
Or on the other
like
end.
Leane, like Mick the other day was like talking about how, you know, he kept seeing you on the elliptical all winter, and he's like, God, like, what are we gonna do with this girl? Like, this
Yeah.
isn't working. Like, it's not gonna work. And then all of
Yeah.
a sudden, you're second at Big Tens a year
Well,
later.
like,
This is a conversation
I
I
just
had with
think,
Lindsay
like,
the other
I know
day.
for
so what are the
me,
variables?
like, I
what are
know-
the things that?
I like obviously like every person's different, but for me, freshman year, no, I'm not gonna get too into it. I just had a lot of like hormonal issues going on, and I don't think people truly understand how much hormones
Yeah.
like influence your body and affect it. Like the amount of girls, like you have so many high school girls that freshman year they come out, they're like running low 17s, winning state, and then even like senior year, they're barely cracking like top 20,
Yeah.
and it's like when like your body is going through that change and you're hitting like your first
Yeah.
period and things like that, like, and then like college, like the same thing happens. Like, so for me, freshman year, that I was dealing with a lot of like
Yeah.
hormonal stuff, and I just feel like a lot of people like they don't truly realize like how much that like affects like your running.
Yeah, and like going into coaching is something I've talked about with like Lindsay, because she and I talked about this on Wednesday. We ran like 10 miles together, just her and I I said, like, guys don't really cross train. Like, if I asked you guys, like, you guys just run
Yeah,
every day.
no,
like,
I mean-
I do a little
like,
bit, but I'm probably more.
Yeah.
I only really do it when I'm
Like,
hurt, though.
Jackson
and
does a little
miles,
bit
like-
too,
and
but he
the
has
way
a
like
fragile
women's
Achilles.
bodies are, like Lenny said, a lot of girls like who have been running earlier, like they don't, like their body changes for the first time in
Yeah.
college,
Mm-hmm.
and when you're like hammering miles, like some coaches still believe in like just pounding miles out, and like that might work for some girls,
Yeah.
for some ladies, but like
It's
a
not
lot
as
of them,
simple.
like it's a short-term fix, and
Yeah.
they'll be really good for a little bit, and then they just break, and like a
Or
lot of
then
times
they
they
just
can't
keep
get back
getting
up.
those injuries nonstop.
So what about for the two of you? Because I feel like
We're low
it's safe to say
mileage.
you both come from different backgrounds
I'm
in high school.
probably,
You're both killing it
we're
now. So
the lowest
what's
mileage
the,
on the
like,
what have you done
the
right?
house I lived in last year, I was with all like the juniors. I ran the longest distance in track. Like I was the one, like I'll go up to the 10K this year. They're all like more mid D. They're more mileage than
Yeah.
I am. I'm like, we're probably
run
like the
50
lowest
miles.
mileage on the team, and we're like the most distance people.
Yeah. I think like just finding that balance, because like women's bodies are way more delicate. Like going into like anatomy side, like testosterone is way more like powerful, like in recovery. Like guys' bodies can bounce back a lot quicker, like tendons, ligaments, muscles, things like that. on,
Well,
like,
because
an
guys
anatomical
also
side.
work on like a 24-hour cycle,
Yeah.
where women are on like a 24-day
Yeah.
cycle.
So it just comes down to a lot of like nitty gritty stuff of like just coaching women. You have to understand there's way more factors like in the body that.
Podcast on our podcast last week.
I actually listened to it.
and Evan
It was
listened to it. I didn't listen to it. And you were talking about how, what's the guy's name?
Malcolm Gladwell.
Malcolm Gladwell was talking about how men shouldn't be coaching women because they aren't able to like fundamentally understand a lot of the stuff
Like,
you're talking
period.
about. Do you like
So what
do
do you
you
think
agree
about
with
that
that? Do you
statement?
think like only women should be coaching
The
women?
two women that he had on there actually disagreed with him. One of them was Laura. and
I
Fletcher.
don't like
I don't
agree
think-
that men should just coach women, but like
I don't think there's like
Yeah.
a clear answer. Like I think like I don't think there's no issue in like a man coaching a women's team, like a man coaching a women's team. But then I think like there's additional research you got to do behind it. Like
Yeah.
I think if you're gonna coach a women's team, like you gotta
need to be
understand.
comfortable with talking
you gotta,
about that,
yeah, you gotta
too.
be like. I feel like you're gonna have to like be able to like talk to your athletes if like things come up. You
Yeah.
need to be able to like, understand like they're not gonna feel the same every single day. Like things might pop up, and you can't just like push them through certain things.
Or maybe
so I
having
think
like a women assistant or like a woman like colleague
Yeah.
that you can like
Yeah.
talk to, or just like on your on your coaching staff, so you can at least like talk. Like,
Yeah.
because obviously again, like you guys can know about it, but you're never gonna have
Like
been able to experience
yeah,
like, what it's
yeah.
like being a female. So
Yeah.
again, I've always been coached by males in every sport up until being in college.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me too.
So I had no problems with it. But again, when I was like 12, 15 years old, and I mean, I like being coached by. Oh my
oh,
god.
that's kind of cool.
Yeah, we're hearing
From
a
the
lion.
zoo?
We're hearing a
Yeah.
lion roar right
All the way
now.
from the zoo, we can hear Bob's lion.
But I think that's an interesting point. Like, I don't know. I don't think men.
What's the biggest
Yeah.
thing you want to bring to the coaching world, Lexi? Like, what's like the thing that inspires you the most that you think you can bring about change?
Oh boy.
Or what are you fired up about?
Oh god. That's a question.
'Cause I feel like coaches do have a huge influence on.
Oh my god, they
Yeah.
have a massive
on
influence
the, like,
Yeah.
yeah. So
on like the
that's
mindset
a
in
very-
general in the sport, you
Yeah.
know?
I
and,
think
like,
just coaches need to be more understanding and just a little bit more like patient. That's what's something I really appreciate about Lindsay. She like takes the time to like sit down with us individually about what we need.
Yeah.
I know it's really hard to like balance 25, 20, whatever, how many athletes you have on a team, but when you can be a little bit personal and individualized to each athlete and get to know them, what makes them tick, what they need, I think it just develops the relationship. And
Yeah.
I think like having close relationships with your athletes, like it means a lot more to me knowing like Lindsay like gets me or understands what I'm going through than a coach that just kind of is like surface level. And again, I understand some people want more of just the bare minimum coach to athlete relationship, but
Yeah.
some might need a little bit more hands-on. And coaches that just can read people and be a little bit more emotionally aware of what your kids need is important.
So like knowing your athlete.
Yeah, and,
being
like,
emotionally intelligent.
What they want to do after school, like what if they want to go pro, like what their ambitions are, like what they need, and just being again more patient and more aware.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great answer.
That is a great answer. I think that's something that our coaches, especially now, are pretty good at. Even, well, I mean, you say Lindsay, we
Yeah.
aren't coached by Lindsay, but I feel like that's something Mick is
Yeah.
pretty good at too. You know, like at least to a certain extent, being aware of what we need and what we want, and
Exactly.
being willing to listen.
Yeah.
Okay, another thing I have written down here, kind of in the same vein. So you guys run 6K
Yeah.
throughout the entire season. You don't change at all, just 6K straight
I already
through.
know where-
Yeah, my
Yep,
hot take.
yep.
Here's my hot take for that.
Wait, let me finish.
You need to run a 10K. You guys need to run a 10K.
Zip it over here,
Don't do
Rowen.
this.
Our next two races are
Let
going to
me
be
do it.
10Ks.
Oh my
What do you
gosh,
do with me?
Evan.
So,
Okay, let's
like,
see, let's hear it.
what? I guess what just are your general thoughts about that? Like, we have like. I would say a 10K is very different from an 8K. Like,
Yep.
our last
100%.
two races are completely different from the first however
We
many
both
we run in
agree.
the
And the type of
season.
athlete can
We
be
both agree on this. I'll let Lenny answer.
So do you think that we should stay at 8K throughout the entire season? Do you think everyone should run 8K, men and women?
Yeah.
Do you think you should move up to 8K at the end of the season? Like we move up to 10K? What are your thoughts? What do you
I
think?
think like, because it's funny. There's two distinct groups with this. Like if you
Yes.
ask like a true distance runner, they're gonna say absolutely move up.
Yep.
But then you ask middle distance runners, and they say no, keep it at 6. So I think like maybe do what you guys do, where it's like you go 8, 8, 8, 8, and then go up. So I don't know, like do like
We're both
6.
advocates of changing, even if
It's like
go for K,
common ground, you go
like-
to 7. But it's like I'm like, yeah, why not go up like a K or 2K
like
at
if the guys
end?
do it, bump us up.
Like
or
girls,
like keep it 5K
girls
or
race.
something.
I know it's not the same, but girls race at 10K on the track.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, why?
That's what I don't get. I don't
like
understand
If
this.
you're,
I
if you're
don't
going
understand
in
why it's just
grass or
guys.
hills, like if you
Yeah.
you can bump
also,
down
a very
to K.
different female athlete can be way more successful in
Absolutely.
women's cross country than the guys. Like guys, you almost have to be like milers can do pretty well, but there's
Yeah.
more of a ceiling. You
Yeah.
have to really come at it from a distance.
And
And I
like,
feel like
Yeah.
in girls, it's a little different. You can have milers that win.
And I think of cross country, I think of like distance.
Cross
hills,
country is a
traffic.
It's supposed
distance
to be
event.
like
I'm not
a
yeah.
saying
distance
like
event.
eliminate try to like make it so we eliminate a chunk of people, but I think like if the guys are bumping up,
I just think I think everyone should do an 8K. I think we
Yeah.
should eliminate moving up to the
10K
10K.
should
I
all
think
be
it just
8K.
be straight 8K, men and
Yeah.
women, all the way through.
Like, I think about Big Tens. Like you were closing harder than Addie Engel.
Leane, I thought you were gonna.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna win too. I thought you were gonna
from the
win.
cart, and I
Like-
only saw you, and I'm like, oh my god, Leane
Like-
was winning.
So Leanne and I, for reference, like I could see her finishing when I was coming up the straightaways. I knew where she was.
Yeah.
If there was another even half K, like Andrew, like whatever, you would have passed her. Like watching the video back, you were closing harder than she was closing, and like it would have been a completely different race, even if there was just simply 800 meters left.
My dad, like, that goes
Guaranteed.
back to,
I'll
like, high
take that to the
school. My
bank.
dad said that to me in high school at the state my senior year. He's like, if you just had, like, another K, you would have had her.
Yeah.
And it's like, what if that was it, you know? Like, what if there was an extra K at the end? Like,
What's it like running a 10K?
how would
It's
how would
awful.
the race change?
It is
Yeah.
the
Like,
most
flipping it on
painful
you
running
guys-
running thing I've ever
Like
done.
I
Yeah.
run 10K on the track, and I hurt after that.
10K. I've never
What's
ran
it
a
like
10K on the
running a
track.
10K
Thank you.
on
I never
grass?
want to.
It is. There's nothing that
Like, I
compares
love
to
the
national
10K.
10K
Really
CrossFit.
Like, yeah,
What is
so,
it
like,
like?
what do
Because
you,
you go
like,
out so fast, that you're like you're gonna have. You're like not lactic, but you go out way faster than where you're gonna average, and so
Yeah.
that's a really,
Shocks your system
poor
right
way
away.
to run the overall fastest time
Yeah.
you want to. But that's just how
That's how it
it's
is.
run.
That's how the
And then
race
you get
is.
to 1K, and then you have to do 9K more.
The
and
worst
already-
part is when you get to 5K and
you're
you're
like,
like,
I'm
okay,
halfway.
this is a 5K is a solid distance
Yeah.
for a race.
Then you're at 1440 or.
you're at a pretty good time, and you're like, oh my god, I'm only
You're
halfway
halfway.
And you
done.
guys passed by us like the 15th
Oh.
time. We're like, you can do it.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
do it.
It's brutal.
The 10K
I mean, we
is
love
brutal.
it. But
I
it's
love
brutal.
cross
Who's
country
first this-
nationals.
Are we first racing on Friday?
No, you guys
or
are
who's
first.
Are we?
I think you guys were first.
Oh my god.
Because we always watch you go. Or wait. It's always flipped,
Well,
I feel like.
They gotta
I
watch
know.
us at Big Ten.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did get to watch you at Big Tens.
Yeah.
That was nice. I will say, that's the hardest I've ever cheered. For
Yeah,
you
We
that was
should-
the
I
most
really
active
like-
spectating I've ever done.
I was
There's
running
a certain amount of people that I hear cheering for during
I
a race,
heard
and
you
I think it
guys.
also like depends if someone's like on a side where there's like not a lot of people.
Yeah, yeah.
I heard you every single
I
time.
heard you guys and Adam. I vividly remember being in
Yeah,
a group,
I was
and
with
because
Adam.
you guys were in spots that like there weren't a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we were trying to
That's
learn.
what
I
we were
remember
trying
you
to
guys
do.
We
being
wanted
on
it
the back,
for you
What?
guys.
on the back stretch, like
Yeah.
that mile, like where we hit the mile marker. And I remember you
Yeah.
guys being on the back over there, and I ran right past you guys, and I made dead eye contact with all of you.
Yeah.
It's like
I
awkward.
vividly remember you guys like that little downhill you hit right after 4K.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
vividly remember you cheering for me at that spot.
What
What
were your
are the-
thoughts watching us race?
I was excited. I mean, I don't know. It was a spread, and the race
Yeah.
definitely changed a lot over.
The most
kind of
painful
the
thing
course
was
of it.
seeing that you two were running great, and then there was like
Yeah.
a group of MSU girls, and there were like 4 of them, and they were
Yeah.
all just a
Right
tiny
by-
bit in front
yeah.
of like Bella.
Yeah, and it was
Kylie.
like just like catch
And it-
them,
and-
just like do it.
So it was just like painful. It
It's
was like,
hard.
oh, if they were just a tiny bit ahead, you guys would have
What's
won.
the worst thing and the best thing to hear in a race? Like the worst
Yeah, that's a
like
good
thing
question.
someone can say to you, and the best thing that someone can say to you.
When the coach is like, "You've got 6 minutes left," or like
the
2.
worst
I'm like,
is
I hate
I
that
know.
too.
I
like when
just
you
passed-
know the course
Yeah.
and like you vividly know that you have like a K left or something, and they're like 400 to go, and I'm like, shut up! No, we didn't
you know
know.
we
Like
don't.
I hate when
What
they
about
do
the really
that.
intense ones? Like, do you like a coach like screaming at you like, "You gotta get that jersey in front of you right now"? Like,
Yeah, does that
I like
help? Does
knowing,
that
like,
change the way
for
you
me,
race?
I remember passing like Aaron and his wife, and it's nice because his wife ran, so like she gets it. So she
Yeah.
was vividly like, I really remember she was a few spots after him, and he said something I can't remember, but she sorry Aaron, but then she said like, Lexi, there's a pack. She was like, this is 8th through 14th. Like you guys are 8th through 14th.
Yeah,
so
that's
we had a
helpful.
spread.
I think
Yeah.
it's helpful when like
Yeah.
during nationals, it's going to be hard to hear any sort of cheering
Yeah,
because that's just
right.
like a wall of people the entire way around usually. But it'll be
Yeah.
pretty important to like know what position we're
exactly.
in
I like
throughout
knowing
the
the
race.
position we're in
Yeah.
and like what's going on around.
'Cause
us.
honestly,
Because you
there's
don't know
not
what's
much-
happening 5 feet behind you.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know there was 2 women right next to me, but then we all ended up using each other on that final
Yeah.
That
like,
happened
straight away.
to me too, because it's like unless someone's like so far behind you, like when you're passing people, like they're already gonna start cheering for the person behind you.
Yeah, you kinda
Because
know
my
what's
entire
going on.
2K, I was in second, so I knew the Michigan Staker was behind me, but I just didn't know how
how
far
Yeah.
because I
And
like
how fast she was
the moment
coming,
I'd
or-
passed and people would already be cheering for her. And I
Yeah.
remember I was making that turn into the finishing shoot,
Yeah.
and Travis was on that corner. He's told me he's like, "You're good. You have a
That's
good
Lindsay's
gap.
fiance,
Like
if
just
you're
focus on
wondering.
I know who
finishing
that
strong,
is.
but you have it." And I was like, I like to know that. Like
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
if she's a second behind me, tell me exactly
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
Because, like, if someone's going to pass you in the finishing shoot, like, they have that momentum, it's going to be hard for you to match it.
Yeah.
If they're
Is
already
there
passing you.
is
so.
there a distinct thing that someone said to you like before or after a race that was just like the worst thing you could have possibly heard like in that moment?
Yes.
What?
My senior year, high school, indoor, I was coming off of an injury, so it was like my first like race coming back from it, and it was atrocious. And I remember my high school coach, after the race, he said to me, he's like, "You look like a duck waddling out there."
Oh man.
I was like, not what you want to hear, but
Yeah, dang.
that still hits
I'm
me
gonna
hard.
say that to you the next week.
Yeah. Looks like a
Get
duck
ready to
out
read
there.
those.
Definitely after when we found out like we got second. Of course, it was like Lenny and I was a mix of emotions because we were obviously very, very like excited and pleased with ourselves, but then we were obviously not disappointed like in the team. We were disappointed in like the placement of the like because of course you want to win.
Yeah.
It was almost like hard to celebrate
Yeah.
ourselves in that moment.
Yeah, because like we knew there was people who were really happy with the race, people who weren't happy with the race,
Disappointed, like,
and you don't
mixed
ever want to
emotions.
show like sound like you're like boasting about yourself, but you also want to still be proud of yourself in the moment.
Yeah, that's not something we've ever had to worry about at Big Tens.
Yeah, whatever.
I've
But
watched
to be fair, Michigan State is a really good.
Michigan
Oh,
State is a
really?
really
I
good
mean,
team.
they're
Yeah.
top,
we didn't
they're
have
top
that.
10 in the nation.
Shout out to
Second
them.
in the Big
They
Ten
ran,
is
they ran really
fucking
well
great.
to have 5 in the top 15. Like they're gonna be a top
Yeah, they were
7,
great-
8
they were
team.
great program.
Yeah, I
at
mean,
nationals.
like right now they are ranked top 10 in the nation.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
So what about for regionals? Because like,
I didn't know
what's the team strategy for regionals? Like, what do you guys have to do? Are you all gonna like actually race it? Like, from our perspective, we normally try to run to like whatever the median of our group of 5
Yeah.
or 7
Yeah.
is. We try to all run together and just put minimal effort in and qualify. But will it look the same for you guys, or what will it
Will
look
you
like?
have to
Well,
like?
we don't know what our like official squad like yet going
Yeah.
into the race, so I think that like it's hard to answer your question fully.
Yeah.
But we are adding a Notre Dame, and they're like a top 4 team in the country right now,
Yeah.
so it's kind of like letting them. At least Lindsay has said to us so far, like letting them do their run their race.
Yeah.
And, we run
like, 'cause
ours.
they'll most likely
They're gonna take it
they'll
out.
take it out hard.
And they run from the gun. Their
Yeah.
top 3, like their top 5 is gonna be top 15 overall. So it's just like letting them do their thing and not necessarily going for like a win, but
Yeah.
like going to get our spot and like secure a spot. So it's not really
They're in the ACCs, right?
yeah
We lost
to
Virginia.
yeah, there was an upset.
Yeah.
I remember that. They did lose.
That's right.
I'm not gonna say like they're not good, but like
No, but yeah, that was an upset.
yeah, but
But
they're gonna come guns blazing for sure. But just doing our job and people knowing that they have to just literally run. to the
Yeah,
end.
cross country is such a interesting. That's why I love the sport so much. It's like such a balance of individual success and focus and like
Yeah.
team success and focus.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, the most important thing is you run the best race possible.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that
'Cause,
can
like,
help your team the most.
but also there is a team aspect of it, which like the best teams figure out, and
Yeah.
it's just like so, like I don't know. It's hard to figure out.
Yeah, and we've got some young women. Like,
Yeah.
shout out to the younger ladies who, like, Bella and Kylie, who in their first
they really
Big
stepped
Ten,
up.
like,
That was
yeah.
great to see.
Yeah.
they've stepped up. Like, sometimes when you're young, it's like, just enjoy the experience. Like,
Yeah.
like I remember my freshman year, I was, like, a nationals, and I didn't, like, have that, like, the opportunity to just enjoy it at the moment. Because it was, like,
And
running with
August,
Alicia and Amy, it
brutal.
was scary. But, like, they've had to step into kind of the same spot. Like, they have to just run
Yeah.
as hard as they can, and we're relying on them, and they really stepped up big time. So as an old lady, like I'm really proud of the way the younger ladies have stepped up and just kind of taken that responsibility on.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else running related to talk about, or can we talk about
Sort of.
more
Lexi, I
interesting
have a question for you.
things?
So I mean, me and Rowen we're all getting up there in age.
Yes.
Rowen's about to be 23. He's like,
Thanks
Yeah.
for that.
you're
Very
this
cool.
is the last year.
This is it.
So, what's the thing you're gonna miss the most about leaving this team and the NCAA? Like, yeah, what
Yeah.
aspect are you gonna miss the
that's
most?
easy.
And what are you like? Is there anything left that you want to, like, really make sure you appreciate or get out of this last
Oh
year
my god.
of the team?
Like it's really bittersweet. Honestly, like there's a reason why I didn't want to like go somewhere else, like for grad school. Like, I wanted to stay here because there's something just about this group. Like when I go home for the summer, like yeah, I love my home and my job, but like I miss you guys.
Bev
and
cart girl.
yeah, I'm a Bev Cart girl. Shoutout Point Golf Club. Love you guys. My regulars there. Make drinks on the course.
Lexi make my like summer salary in one night.
Yeah.
Put something shiny on.
Yeah.
And flirt with the men.
okay, fair. But like, honestly, like, for me, since I haven't had a full season of training, like ever, it's just seeing like what I can do, really, and just going for it, putting myself in uncomfortable positions, and just soaking it all in. I'm gonna miss like traveling with the team, and just the
Definitely.
stupid like crap that we do. Like
It's the team. That's
Yeah.
that's the most special
Like-
part about college is like living in a house with
Yeah.
like 8 other
I
guys
think
and just
about
like doing
coming down
stupid
and making
stuff.
dinner with Lenny, and we're doing face masks and painting nails, and with Sammy, and like I think about one thing that always sticks out is our travel trip to Tallahassee. We were so mad we didn't stay for the after party, and we got driven to Jacksonville, and we ended up just
Oh my god, we had a
playing in
great
the ocean.
time though.
We were so pissed, but we had the best time. Just like
Did you go to dinner with us that night,
yeah,
or
we
did you
went
go
to that.
somewhere?
No, we went to like a surf shack. All the women.
Yeah,
and we
okay, because
got
there was
drinks.
something, we were talking about this today, there was something at the guys' dinner that happened that was like one of the funniest things to ever happen.
But none of us can remember.
we can't remember what it was, and
And
we
then
don't.
we like played in the. We like went and were like tackling each other in the ocean.
Yeah, that was fun.
And like I'm gonna like we went on spring break together.
Yeah.
We do all this stuff. We go on trips. We have like our team parties. Like I'm just gonna miss being around this group of people.
Yeah.
It's like it's not gonna be
No,
like this much
that makes
longer
me so
until
sad.
Yeah.
like episode 1 of your podcast. Somebody's like wedding. Throw
Yeah.
back to episode 1.
Yeah.
Like that's or like a birthday or something. Like
Yeah.
when we all get back together again.
It's gonna be a little bit, but we'll
We'll make it work.
keep it going.
We'll keep
it
the
going.
Bills Lake.
Okay, Sphere's
think
gone.
we should go.
We can say things that will get us canceled now without any repercussions.
Yeah.
What are your hottest takes? Let's go. Come on.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we're gonna do an annual trip. I think we need every year. We're gonna meet somewhere. We're gonna do a ski trip. We're gonna
We
do.
want to do a ski trip.
Yeah.
Ski trip, absolutely. I miss skiing
Lenny
so
and I were
much.
looking through the videos of this summer from the Bills
From
Lake.
Michigan.
trip
Oh
and the Torch
yeah.
Lake.
Evan with his yellow feet.
With the jaundice feet, he like put his feet up, and they were just like bright yellow. And then Rowen driving the boat, and then like me face planting into the water and ripping my thigh.
Oh my
I've been-
god.
Lexi being a trooper after being
That was
dragged through-
so
I've been
impressive.
jumping in after those like weird birds.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You, like,
Remember
went
you
after
like
those birds?
going like
Oh, the
this
moons.
and like jumping it
I've
after
been
them.
driving a pontoon that had like 17 people on it. And it's made for like 12.
Yeah, like getting pulled over by
Despite
the, like
Becky
the
Martin
water
trying to
water
do that.
cops.
Yeah, we got pulled
Like the
over.
water
We
police.
did.
Remember the water
you remember
police?
that?
Pulled over by the police.
Yeah, you're
Oh
supposed to
my
have your
God.
license apparently when you're driving.
And
a
only
boat. Like,
one sticker.
And Jack.
Only one sticker.
And
yeah.
Jack was married to that jet ski. Poor Lenny.
Oh
Poor
my
Lenny
God.
got upstage.
Lenny
You
took
are
that
going to own
that
a,
relationship.
if you ever own a jet ski, you are
If.
never gonna.
If.
We had what?
When?
We had 13 people in a house this summer. What was it? One bathroom.
Oh my god, it was like a
Max and Lucy
3-room
sitting at each
house.
other's throats
Oh my
underneath
god.
the dining table.
Rowen and I were on a bunk. Rowen was on the top bunk. I was on the bottom
Yeah,
bunk.
that was awesome.
That was
it
a
was
great
just
trip.
anything like that. I'm gonna miss
That
so
All
much.
waking up in the kids' camp.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out Paul.
Paul James, we love you.
We will have you on the podcast, Paul. Whenever you get here,
Yes.
we will have you on. I
Oh,
promise. Okay.
So,
Evan's question that he came up with.
Yeah, a little more lighthearted.
Lighthearted.
Okay.
why am I nervous?
So,
with this question?
okay, so you.
He's getting comfortable.
You two are roommates.
So your roommates, obviously your best friends,
Best
blah, blah,
friends.
blah, all that jazz. What about, I want to know, like, what grinds your gears about
what
each other?
annoys
What's
you
one
most?
thing that's like an ick about each other, you know?
'Cause, like,
for Rowen-
mine-
Yeah, go ahead.
Mine,
Rowen.
Yeah, like,
for
I'm gonna-
Evan, I thought of it. Oh, at night. When you go to pee at like 3 in the morning, you slam your door so loud whenever you go back in your bedroom, and it always wakes me up.
One about you.
Always wakes me up.
But slam that thing.
Even harder. Yeah,
No.
great.
No, good to know. And I feel like the stairs piss you off. I
Yeah,
feel like
'cause
I'm
they're
pretty
like
quiet up
you
the
are
stairs,
pretty quiet
but-
up the stairs, but some people like on the stairs. Oh my god, it's so. Okay,
ours
what do you?
are
What's
really, like,
annoys? What annoys you about
Rowan's
me?
always spritzing lavender smelling items everywhere.
That's not true. Are you kidding me?
That's not my
Hold on, I have lavender hand sanitizer that my mom gave
You
me.
said Trader Joe's, and you're like, Rowen has this lavender.
That's the only lavender
Rowan's a
scented
little
thing I
lavender
have, and it's
slut.
from my mom. That I don't
Tracy.
spritz lavender scented things everywhere. That is slander.
Okay, Rowan's addiction to the bathroom scale.
Okay, don't do
This isn't an
Do you
ick,
want to
but
see
I
my
think
chart? It's really good
hysterical.
right
Okay.
now.
Oh god.
This
Hold
isn't
on.
an ick, because honestly, Lenny and I, like, you don't do anything that
There's,
ticks
like-
me off because we're so
There's like
similar.
no one thing.
Race
This
weight.
makes, this makes me laugh better. I don't think it